the vestibule is not nearly as big as I expected it to be. Seems like well, I guess I could prop up a chair here. I'm gonna have to bust out my chair and see how tall it is. But obviously, I think your head's gonna be touching this thing whenever you're sitting in your chair. Not a tub floor. So this has a tub floor. Yeah, it's raised up from the bottom, but this material is in no way a tarp thick material. This is just a thin, it's the same material that the rest of the tent is made out of. Setting it up wasn't too bad. The hardest thing is getting this rainfly to sit on here properly. It was kind of wonky. It was like, you can see from here, this vestibule area does not touch the ground. And I wasn't sure if it was supposed to or not. But my biggest complaint is, first off, these poles, really thin, really flimsy. We were just getting about 12 miles per hour winds here. And this whole tent was bowing and it was, flapping in the wind. Pretty much, well, I didn't have all the rainfly ropes down, but it was bowing quite a bit just from 12 mile per hour winds. But my biggest complaint is how cheap this part is down here. You can see real cheap, kind of like nylon tether here, and you got to put your stake through the ring. It doesn't have an extra loop to put the stake through. So really you can only use the cheap chintzy stakes that they give you, which I like to use real stakes, big thick stakes, which I have, but there's no way you're going to be able to fit a nice big thick stake through that ring with the two poles. So anywho, they have these guide wires to keep this rainfly down. Yes, it does cover the whole mesh, so so far it doesn't seem too bad, but definitely a lot cheaper, lighter than I expected. But what can you expect for, I only paid $55 for this tent. The rain fly seems to be holding up all right. We just got a little bit of rain. Haven't got any water inside yet. There's also only one door to this tent. I guess this is the only way that you can vent it is by, unzipping this here. And I don't know how do you even tether this back. I know in the pictures it says that this is tethered back for ventilation, but there's no loop here, so it looks like you can just leave this open for a little bit of ventilation, but that's really it. Other than that, the whole tent is enclosed. I can see in the summertime this thing is going to be pretty dang hot, because there literally is no ventilation besides what you get from the sides here, pulling your rainfly out a little bit. There's going to be no cross breeze. So I could see this tent being super duper hot in the summertime, which obviously it is. I'm in northern Arizona right now. But anywho, looks like a decent area to keep a small cooler and your shoes. So this is what it looks like with a chair inside the vestibule. Okay, you can obviously see that your head might fit under it, but yeah, so my head's got some coverage, but my legs are going to be sitting out in the rain. So whoever reviewed this and said they called this vestibule a front porch, thanks a lot, because that was definitely misleading. There's a review that I read that clearly said, my nephew calls it the front porch actually, because there's so much room. This is not a front porch, okay? This is an awning that you can maybe get some coverage for your head. This is not a vestibule that is going to be useful. Anywho, I got the mattress turned. You can see I have about the full-size mattress, half a foot on that side, which is a decent little room here, which is actually works out pretty nice for a couple that wants a smaller tent. This really isn't so bad to get this full mattress in here, but I don't know. I'm gonna see what the return policy is and maybe look at the 4-person, because this for me would be like a car tenting camp, a car tenting, you know, tent. And for this purpose, no, it's too big for a backpacking tent, and it's not big enough if you're gonna bring it in the car for me. Even as one single person, I'd be sleeping here by myself. So maybe it's just my opinion, but it's kind of chintzy. It's, I don't know. I need a little bigger vestibule. That's the biggest thing. The vestibule in no way is big enough for me. This is also pretty small. As other reviews said, for a 3-person tent, it's pretty small. So yeah, you can fit a couple in here, but this is a full-size mattress. The only way I can blow it up with the valve here is obviously from this angle. So yeah, it is like bowing at the seams here, and that's not too comfortable. I guess I have 2 feet for gear, but I really wanted to turn this, but so this is a dilemma. If you have an air mattress, obviously you have to pump it from this side where you're outside the tent. There's not enough room to have it face the other way and pump it from inside. So now that it's pumped up, how in the will you be able to turn it? Not easily. Hold on a second, we will try this. So overall, I would say this tent is about a 7 out of 10. I slept in it last night, and as I predicted, it was pretty hot in the morning, being here in Sedona with all this heat. Yeah, it held up good. I didn't get too much wind or rain. The thing I like the most is the standover height in the tent. There's actually a pretty decent amount of standover height. So you can see probably, this is the top of the tent here. You know, getting pants on and off. You at least got enough that you can bend over. I've been in tents where you don't even have this much room, right? You just gotta lay on your back. Also, this did not come with any directions on how to set it up. So I just wanted to tell you all real quick, save you some time. Because you know, whenever you're setting up and it's starting to rain and you're getting stressed, and then it's like, shit, how do I do this? Anyways, so it's a simple 2-pole cross here. This tent's gonna be laying down. You just clip in the cross poles. Don't do this middle one yet. There's a smaller middle one for over the top, but you just do the cross poles just by clipping them in here. Raise it up. Obviously put the pole, always you put the tent pole into these pins. A lot of newbie beginner tent people don't know that. So you raise it up, and then you take this middle pole here, put it over the top, tie it all together up here. Then there is a 3rd pole for the vestibule that's going to go inside this other pin here, and it's going to go across into this other pole here through the front of the vestibule rainfly. So anywho, this is the tent. It's got some reinforced kind of seams here. So one thing I really like is the door. It's got this great seam on the inside that doesn't let it get stuck. So real nice seam. It's nice that it's got the pocket. It's got the overhang pocket. Obviously without the rainfly, it's all mesh. You can see this is the full-size air mattress in here. My feet were touching the edges of the tent, but didn't feel too uncomfortable. Got about 2 feet worth of room here. Without the air mattress, here's a door, so whenever the rain flies up, the only ventilation you're going to have is this window door. But yeah, I'd say the trickiest thing for me was the way the rainfly sets up. You know, it comes with these little elastic plastic hooks here, and I wasn't sure if those hook into the base where the pin is, as if they hooked in here, and that's what I did. But when I hooked them on the back first, I couldn't stretch the front ones down to make these hooks, so I just had to kind of like hook it underneath this nylon rope here, which I said already feels really cheap, and I didn't want to put any more stress on the stakes. But obviously the rainfly seems great. It seems like it's got some nice extra layer over the seams to keep it from water protection. These guide wires are pretty nice, as you can see. So overall, as I said, I like the tent, but it's definitely only a 2-person. The only way I could see it would be a 3-person would be if you had a couple and a small child, like 5 years old or less, and if you were all on pads, not on an air mattress. So definitely a 2-person tent. I'm gonna possibly look at returning this for a 4-person, because as I said, the vestibule is very short and I wanted something with a bigger vestibule. So overall, for the price, $60 tent, $70 tent, not bad. But definitely they slacked on some of the things. Here's the last thing. This is part of the rainfly. You can see this nylon here. Just from having this is actually part of the vestibule, the front that tacks out. This is the front corner. You know, I only tacked it down and not even all the way, and it feels like it's gonna rip through already just after one use. So I can see this easily ripping, and then so you can't tack out your front vestibule area, which is pretty ridiculous. So anywho, that's it for this review. Sorry I didn't have a tripod, so this is what you get.